Okay. So today in this episode, we're gonna talk about Angler's Playground. Okay, so you will be wondering what we're gonna talk about. Okay, anyway, I realized that we are quite close with Angler's Playground lah. Anyway, so we realized that a lot of you after watching our videos, you all start to make your bookings, call them to make bookings. So I think many of you are like first time there, so I think being a first time angler there, right, you will have some problem fishing in that area because the fishing is a bit unique. So today I just want to share with you my opinions and how I feel about the fishing there, and maybe also give you some tips and help you understand the kind of fishing, the ways of fishing in that pond, and what are some of the things to do, and all these are just our sharing. Okay, so anyway, again, this is just from my experience, my opinion. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so how did we come up with this idea of actually introducing this Anglers Playground gummy bears? Okay, so the reason is also because we have been fishing in Anglers Playground for kind of like I say many years. Okay, I think Anglers Playground is a very interesting fishing ground because the place is not very big. The fishes are very big. The fishes are very smart. It's very hard to outsmart them. Okay, so you'll be wondering why is it in a Anglers Playground gummy bag, right? We will have so many colors. Okay, so let me roughly explain to you why is that. Actually, in Anglers Playground, I would say you don't actually lure for them, or you don't actually bait for them. So over there, you cast rubbers, but okay, those people that haven't go, right, you kind of wouldn't understand what I mean. But let me show you how it works. Okay, so um, Edwin, the guy, the owner of the pond, will actually be feeding his GTs as well as mangrove jacks and all the fishes with different kind of baits. You know, sometimes he feed with prawn, sometimes squid, sometimes fish or whatever. You know, so basically, the price you pay includes the baits that he used to feed the fish. So he will be sitting at the corner, throwing the baits into the water, and the GT will actually be waiting there looking at the bait. Once the bait land in the water, the GT will actually take the bait. Okay. Then you will be on another side, casting over into the spot whereby he just throw his bait. So he will just throw a piece of fish meat in the water, the fish meat will land. You're supposed to cast your uh rubber lure, okay, but later I'll explain it. Okay, but you're supposed to cast into the same place so that you trick the fish into thinking that this is also a fish bait that's being thrown by the boss. So if the bait land and you land at the same place, the fish may think that, hey, this is the real bait, this is the real fish meat, so he will whack. Then you will have to be able to strike fast enough. Why? Okay, so let me explain it part by part. Firstly, we talk about hooking up the rubbers in Angler's Playground. If you realize these rubbers are of all colors and they are very very huge and big rubbers over here. You can say they are also very thick. Okay, the reason is because all these rubbers is used to imitate the bait that Edwin is actually throwing and feeding his fishes. So for the whole 2 hour session, right, you'll see Edwin fish feeding the fish, okay, during the whole 2 hour session. Sometimes if you fish too fast, maybe you'll finish at about 1.5 hour, that kind of thing, plus minus lah. You know, he will actually manage from there. Depends on how fast and how slow the anglers are. Because sometimes when you start fighting a fish, he will actually walk back to help you unhook the fish. If you are unable to do so, he'll help you land the fish. Okay, he's a very nice guy. Anyway, so if you keep hitting fish, right, then he will stop and he will walk back, ma. But if you don't hit fish, then you will have to keep feeding the fish, right? So that's why you will sometimes your bait finish earlier, sometimes your bait finish later. But anyway, you are paying for the same amount of baits, lah. Everyone pays for the same amount of baits. You want to top up the bait, you have to talk to him, pay more money. Okay, so I mean that is confirmed, lah. You know, you want more things, you're gonna pay for it, lah. You don't get it free. So at Anglers Playground, right, you don't bait for the fish. So there's no such thing as hooking a live bait, hooking a fish meat, then you throw it out. There's no such thing. Okay, so how we tie our rigs, right? Just our opinion. Is basically we tie a braided line, then we connect our braided line to our leader, something like how we do our luring. Then from the leader, right, we tie direct to a hook. okay, to a fishing hook. Okay, let me explain to myself. It's a fishing hook, no jig heads. Uh, some people use weedless hooks, but I prefer to use a normal baiting hooks because to me it's stronger. It's a single hook and it has to be debugged. Okay, so the size of the hook is kind of important because I would say too big a hook is a bit hard to hook up because the fish are very careful. Sometimes if your hook is too big, right, the fish bite but the hook bug is still outside. The sharp point is still outside. So they are very, very smart lah. So sometimes what you hear from me, you may think that, why like this, why like that? It's because the fish are really very smart. So you cannot go too small also because the fish are very big. So too small will also not able to hook the fish. And also if the hook is too small and you hook a chunk of rubbers onto the hook, right, the hookup rate is also not that good. So I will say that different brands have different hook size lah. So I would say that to be frank, I would say the hook has to be around maybe 3 to 4 cm, 3 to 5 cm around there. In terms of long, from top to bottom, about 3 to 3 cm plus minus. Then the gap got to be as wide as maybe about 2 cm around there plus minus. So actually the normal hooks that you use at the fishing pond, you just have to get 1 or 2 size bigger lah. It will work very well already. We try very big hooks and very small hooks. I still prefer the one in the middle that is a bit bigger than your normal baiting hooks. It's very hard for me to explain to you because hooks is different brand. So I give you an example. So let's say I were to take this Cultiva plugger singers. Okay, this is written here 4O. Okay, so let's say we follow this size. So this is actually 4O. I would say that 4O is okay. This size is quite okay, 4O. Okay, anything one size bigger or one size smaller, I think it won't matter so much lah. So you can use the 4O. So you tie direct, there's no weight, everything. So you need to be able to cast the later you understand why I don't know what word to use for it, but let's use the word lure. You must understand that there's no weight. You cannot put weight, no split shot, no sinker. Because the sink rate of the rubber is very important. If your rubber sink too fast, the fish will know that is not the fish bait. You will not be able to imitate the bait that the boss is actually feeding the fish. So you cannot use weight and all these things. So you have to just cast without weight, hook the rubber. Okay, so now the important thing, rubber. So the rubber has to be different color because once you use the same color and cast all over again, the fish will identify that color as fake. So you are not able to trick the fish if the fish knows that your color is fake. So after every 5 to 10 casts, you need to change a color of the rubber. So and it also depends on the weather, depends on the mood. I think depend on the whether raining or not. Different colors works lah. But basically in the gummy bags, we already fill up with most of the effective colors. Whether is it on a sunny day or on a rainy day, or what color is the water and all these things. So you will see that the baits are very big, so you just have to cut them up. Okay, so the baits you got to cut them up to the small chunk. So one rubber you can easily cut maybe 3 to 4 pieces to use. And then we don't use the tail. Okay, so basically we will cut away the tail. So you see this like rubber tail, we actually cut it away. So you cut the bait maybe to about 3 to 4 cm. Some people use very big because they are not able to cast if it's too small. But I would prefer something on the middle size, maybe about 3 to 4 cm. Then you cut already, you hook the bait, right? You hook the rubber like you hook a bait. You hook the rubber like you hook a fish meat. Okay, so this is very weird. Okay, you don't do this kind of fishing elsewhere lah. But this pond is like this. You hook the rubber like you hook a fish meat. Debug your hook. Throw. You have to throw accurately because if his bait land here and your rubber doesn't land here, the fish won't take. You have to throw accurately to the place that he throw his rubber. I throw his bait. Okay, so if you throw a fish meat to this spot, your rubber got to land at this spot. So that's how the fishing works. You got to be accurate. Okay, then you are able to trick the GT into biting. Okay, so this is the thing. When the GT bite your rubber, the GT will identify it as a real bait or a fake bait. So if he realizes that it's a rubber, he will split it out. Okay, so basically that short split seconds of maybe half second, 1 second, 2 second, right, the fish will identify whether the rubber is real or not. So many times people cast, right, when the lure land, sometimes the fish take, but you will never feel it. Okay, this one I have to vow by it is that you will never feel the fish taking the rubber. So sometimes you have to identify from splashes, or you can look at your line. If your line move a little bit, just a small movement, that is actually a take from the fish. So a lot of time it's very hard to identify that, hey, there's a fish bite, or no fish bite. But actually Edwin on the other side will be shouting at you to say, hey, bite. But you will be thinking like, hey, where God, the rod never move lah, the line never move. But I'm telling you that the fish are that smart. Okay. On some days, when the lure land, they will bite. On some days, the lure land had 3 or 5 seconds later, then they bite. On some days, the lure land a bit longer than 3 to 5 seconds, then they bite. So every day, the mood of the fish is different. And also, if someone break a very long line and the line is being dragged around the pond, the fish gets pulled, they won't bite. So you have to bring good and strong tackle there to be able to land his fish. Okay, so this is a very interesting fishing ground, and also this is the reason why I like, because it's very challenging. The fishes are there. If you can hook them up, the fight is very rewarding. Okay, and I think I would say it's a short and fast session where you really enjoy extreme fishing. Okay, but this is just my opinion, like, everyone has their own definition of extreme fishing. Okay, but this is just my opinion of this kind of extreme fishing. Is very fun. So anyway, you can get this on our website. This video I also try to do it in a way that I also want to help Edwin to help you all understand, because a lot of people go with a different with a wrong mindset and a different kind of I would say hardware. Like they bring a hard lure, they bring jigs. Okay, all these things I can tell you that it's very, very hard to work. And sometimes when you bring rubber, you only bring 1 or 2 rubbers, and then you bring like the TPR material or the Z-Man material. Basically, Z-Man floats, so Z-Man don't work over there. So the rubbers that we already bring in for you and we are selling in the Angler's gummy bag, actually they sink at the correct rate that the fish will take. So that's it for today's video. Hope my sharing helps you. So for those people that watch our video on Angler's Playground and you also book a session, or you didn't watch our video but you book a session and you would like to understand how it works before you actually go down, I would recommend you to watch this video. And also, if you like my video, hit the like button, subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.